Movie video game. Whoops, my speakers were on there. Sorry if that was really, really loud. Anyway, LEGO the Movie, the video game. So this is obviously the newest LEGO game that has been released by Traveler's Tales based on the LEGO Movie. And I gotta say, just early on here where not a whole lot is happening, this was surprisingly a very good LEGO game. I've been really disappointed with a lot of the recent LEGO games, so this one was really good. It made me laugh. I loved playing it. I didn't dread playing it. It was awesome, and I think I'm probably going to go back and play it, which a lot of the times I normally play through, record it, and then I'm done with it. But for this one, and same with LEGO Lord of the Rings, I want to actually play this game more, and that hasn't happened in a while. So this is obviously based off the movie, if you couldn't tell by the 3 times I said it and how the title is based off of the film of the exact same name. And I haven't seen the movie yet. I don't know how good the movie is, and I don't know how true to the movie that this game is. I'm pretty confident that they're similar, so if you play this game you probably get a pretty good idea of what the movie's about, and I'm sure the other way around if you see the movie. If you do buy the game, at least until the film is out, you do get a certificate that gives you a free ticket to participating theaters. So if you want to spend 50 bucks for a ticket, you get a game and a free ticket, and there you go. If you're going to get the game anyway, then why not? At the beginning here for this walkthrough, because this will be a walkthrough, it will be a guide of all 15 levels, none of the collectibles. I don't really plan on doing those, and normally I'll say I might, but I almost never do, so no collectibles, just regular 15 levels. I have all the cutscenes uploaded if you just want to watch that and skip my regular videos. That should have a link in the description. If there isn't, remind me in the comments and I'll put it in. And other than that, if you've played a LEGO game before, you should be really good at this game. If this is your first LEGO game, then good, you came into a good one. I feel really sorry for anybody who played LEGO Indiana Jones 2 first. Ugh.
You missed again. I didn't even flinch that time. Leave this to me. Look at me, Vitruvius.
One thing I do want to mention before the next cutscene starts is, number one, I'm going to be talking through as much of this as I can. That's just to hopefully avoid copyrights, but, you know, I doubt a developer or a publisher is reading or watching this far, but if someone's angry and doesn't want me to have this video up, just message me. Don't send me to jail or anything. Other than that, you're going to be missing out a whole lot if you're... Anyway, as I was saying, if you're watching me, you're going to be missing out on a lot of the game because there is a lot of dialogue and other just general talking that happens between the characters in this game, and it's really hilarious, it's really cool, but again, I'm going to be talking over to hopefully avoid getting struck down or anything bad like that happening. If you don't like it, you cannot watch my videos and you can go watch someone else, or you can buy the game yourself and play it yourself. That's really the whole point here, is just go play the game yourself, because it's a great game. I really did love this game. If I had to say any complaints, I think the biggest one would be that it was way too short, but there's another cutscene coming up, so I think I'll talk about the downsides once that completes. Okay, so this is going to be the first actual level of the game, and as I said, I'm going to be mentioning a few more downsides. So, number one, the combat is a little bit clunky, and it's not quite as annoying as the LEGO Marvel Superheroes. That one was just a pain because everyone had all these really fancy final killing moves that would take 10 seconds for you to actually defeat whoever you're fighting. And in this game, there's no such thing, but it's really weird because it feels like they're trying to be more, I guess, down to earth as far as humanoid punching goes, because you're not really superheroes and you're not Star Wars. You don't have lightsabers. You don't really have guns until later. So it just feels a lot more clunky, and I guess you could say it feels more LEGO realistic. But it does get annoying because a lot of the times you punch and you can't really control your punch after you punch. So you punch in the wrong direction and you think you're going to be hitting the enemy, and instead you're just punching the air and not really doing anything. And the same thing happens when you're trying to punch the various LEGO objects around the levels. And as you play, you get used to it, but it does feel really weird. I kind of wish it was a little bit smoother. You walking also looks clunky as heck, but I guess it's, again, to fit that purely LEGO style instead of trying to make LEGOs be like humans, I guess. And in this game, they actually feel and play like LEGOs. But again, as I said before, the length of this game kind of disappointed me, and I did expect it. I mean, LEGO games haven't really been that long. I think the longest LEGO game was LEGO Lord of the Rings, which was about 6 hours, and that one had 3 gigantically long movies to go off on. So a new thing about this game is actually being able to sort of build your own things inside these instructions. So you get an instruction page, and then you have to go on over to the build site, and then you have to choose from this circle the silhouetted or the grayed out or the transparent LEGO brick that they want you to choose. In this case, it was a tree. Now, in a way, you are kind of timed, but it doesn't make you fail if you do it too slowly. Instead, you just don't get any stud rewards, and the stud rewards usually aren't worth it at all. So don't worry about it. Just take your time if you're having a hard time, or just guess all of them and you'll get it eventually. For that one, there was one instruction that you had to use to get the tree, and the other parts of this game, there are going to be 2 instructions, sometimes up to 5 instructions, and the instructions themselves, the golden ones, serve as the mini kits. And there's not really as many collectibles in this game as there are in other games. I think there's around 5 golden instructions per level, a pair of pants, and a few other things. There's a stud meter, and there's maybe a few others. Maybe there's mini kits and I just didn't see anything, but there seems to be no equivalent of the mini kit inside these levels. So the other interesting thing is, since you are a builder, you're a construction worker, you get a what's it called? A jackhammer. I couldn't remember what it was. Anyway, they call it the drill here. I think the pneumatic drill, but I'm gonna call it a jackhammer. And the jackhammer gets to drill through all kinds of different objects, and you're gonna be using it throughout the entire game. In this first one, you're given a meter up on the top of the screen on the destruction that you need to cause, and I was a little bit disappointed this was the only time in the game that this really showed up. I thought this might be a common thing, but it isn't, and all you have to do is just destroy as much of that house, and then you have to get rid of this road, and then you can start working on building the big ball wrecker thing that it wants you to build. So the road that you need to destroy is actually over to the left, and nothing over to the right after you get rid of that house.
Hey, good work. Next I'm gonna need you to knock down that apartment block, alright?
Now there are also going to be quite a few characters that you're going to end up playing as. I'd say maybe around as many as in Marvel, but I didn't feel really as overwhelmed when it came to the Marvel amount of characters that they had you play as in LEGO Marvel. I mean, it just felt to me in LEGO Marvel, every single second you're having to switch from one character to another to do something, and it was kind of tedious. It was really annoying having to choose between 5 people. And in this game, it is similar, but it doesn't feel nearly as often. And there are a lot of times where you play as one, then you have to switch right to another one, then right to another one, but not nearly as much as you do in Marvel. And it's not as tedious, and switching the characters was greatly improved in this game. I don't know what they did, but I very rarely switched to a character that I didn't want to switch to, and that surprised me, because that's been a problem with LEGO games since the beginning of LEGO games. And it was one of those problems I was like, well, how the heck are you going to fix it? But in this game, they really seemed to pretty much improve it drastically, and it was really great not having to click Y all the time to get it fixed. So I am playing on the Xbox 360 version, if you couldn't figure out already by the achievement and me turning off my notifications in my menu earlier on. The reason for that is because it is not on the PC. I normally like to go with the PC version because it's usually $10 cheaper, and recording the PC is a lot easier than recording the Xbox, at least for me, and it would be in 1080p. But this game isn't actually on the PC. There is no PC version. There might be later, but later would be way too long after release date, so I just got it on the Xbox. and it is on the Xbox 360, as I just said, the PlayStation 3. It's also on the Xbox One, the PlayStation 4, and I think it's on the Vita and the 3DS, and maybe a few other things. Just Google it, look on Wikipedia, you can find where it is. If you're looking where to buy this game, just go check Walmart or Target or Amazon or Newegg or I don't even know, Green Man Gaming. If they sell console games, I don't know if they do. I don't know, just check a bunch of stores, you'll find it there. I got mine on Amazon, that's where I get everything. GameStop, of course. Yeah, I really shouldn't have to go through that. Anyway, this first video, as you could tell, I'm not talking a whole lot about the game because everything is pretty straightforward. I will be paying a lot more attention to more of the game in the later videos, but this one I just wanted to do a general overview of what you can expect in my walkthrough. And this next part coming up was something that was actually pretty interesting, but the song that it is... Oh wait, I think it's the song. No, there's another song. The song is like, everything is awesome, I think, and I hate it. I don't know if that's what's playing right now, and it doesn't matter because I'm afraid I would get in trouble if I posted the song on its own. So whatever it is, this song is awesome. I hated it by the end of this game, and I have a feeling it's going to be in the movie, and I really want to see the movie, and I have a feeling I'm going to hate it by the end of the movie. So maybe some people will be different, but the song is just like, yeah, it's kind of cool the first time, and then it's kind of old. Especially every time when you get the stud meter at the top of your screen filled up, that song plays. Like the first 3 words of that song plays, and it's... yeah. It's just not that fun. And you'll see it later on, especially if you play this game, you'll see exactly what I mean. Now this is something that I think is in every level, but it is only required to complete in 2 levels, and I'm not even sure you are forced to complete it. I know you are in this one right here, and then the second one, the second time that you have to do this, which is way later on in the game, you may not even have to. Anyway, this is a rock band style event thing, so you hit X, Y, and A as they come by, and when they get into that circle, you tap the button, and you can get cool, awesome, or good. And I think the order is awesome is the highest, then it's cool, then it's good. And I think if you just miss completely, it doesn't really matter. There's probably an achievement to get awesome on every single one of these. And getting awesome isn't that bad, just go, like, let the letter go a split second more than you would think it has to go, and then you push it, and then you'll get awesome. And this one, I got a lot more cools than I got awesome just because I was hitting them a little bit too early. But in the second time that I do it, I got a lot more awesomes because I kind of figured it out. And once you finish it, it kind of gives you an overview. So I didn't get the worst score ever, so that's a good thing, but I got a ton of cools, and I thought cools were the highest because I was just kind of stunned that they bothered to put this in a LEGO game. And then I was depressed because I got 15 mediocre scores and only 6 awesome ones. So there you go. That's one of the pants collectibles. Like I said, I believe there are 1 in every level, or I guess there is 1 in each level, would be the correct, grammatically correct term to say that. So once you finish that, you just have to come on down the slide and then complete the wrecking ball that you should have picked up by now. Now this one I believe was 2 instructions. So the first one, you just have to select the first Lego brick from the list. It is really cool to see how it just falls together. And then for the next one, you have to select 2. So for example, as you see here, 1 instruction means you have to do it once. Once you have 2, you'll have to do 2 for the second one. If you have 3 instructions, one of these things you'll have to do it 3 times, and if you have 5 instructions, you'll have to do it 5 times. And it can be a little bit weird, especially when it has the timer going dinging at you and you think you're finished. Oh, someone's calling me. Anyway, you think you're like timed and you're gonna fail if you don't do it, but you know, you're not really timed, don't really pay attention to it. So this wrecking ball has one of those stupid meter things. I always hate these because you never know what they want the first time. What it wants you to do is hold down on the analog stick and then you push up once the meter hits the white bar there, or around the white bar. You do it 3 times and then the building will fall.
Nice! And just in time, too.
here a couple of times because I was a little bit afraid that my computer was going to blue screen in the middle of the recording, so I paused, ended